we're going to get into some of the team's identity, and I want to ask y'all, what teams have shown the strongest identity so far this season?
Probably the Rockets. I think just from the aspect of that they're going to defend at a high level, and then they're going to crash offensive boards heavy, and they're going to get a bunch of extra possessions. And even if you think you're going to stop them, you just got to deal with that mental, like the mental blow of that we didn't get a stop. Because they're just going to keep getting offensive rebounds, and there's nothing that we could really do.
Yeah.
Except for box out, but even that sometimes don't work.
Don't really work.
I'll go out east, 2 teams. Number 1 are Detroit Pistons and just physicality. I think that level of play translates into the playoffs extremely well. Even against the Hawks, Jalen Johnson did well, but I was looking at the matchup with Beef Stew. He was kind of beating him up a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, that's that physicality that is overwhelming at times. And then the Toronto Raptors, I think the identity of being able to go out and score on a fast break without being a team that's heavily reliant on turnovers, but just getting stops and closing possessions, and then limiting your opponents in transition points. I think they outscore their opponents in transition fast break points by like 10. They average like 22, which is top in the league, and then a top 5 in fast break defense by giving up like 12. So to have a plus 10 in that area is going to be good. They do got to get some bench production, but I like their identity as well.
Yeah, I think those are really good options. I want to go back to the Houston Rockets one, though, because I think that being the first one you mentioned, Derek, makes a lot of sense, because I think that's the one that, like, their identity is so ingrained in what they do, where, like, if you go offensive rebound 30% of your misses or whatever the number ends up being, it's hard to really scheme for something like that. Like, even if you watch last night's games, where when the Trailblazers had their comeback, which we'll talk about a little bit later, all of that was just offensive rebound and getting second chance opportunities. So to be able to have that, and then of course we know that they added the cherry on top being Kevin, that could come in and close out a game here or there. It's so very aggressive that it's something that we haven't seen, at least in like recent NBA history, where you have a team that like half of their goal is to get the ball on the rim and then let the rest happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just so curious of how much of that translates to like the postseason. Obviously, they had somewhat success last year with them being in that long series, but I wonder, could they? Because in order to do it, you got to take out kind of Denver and OKC, which is kind of tough. But it's a good one.
I like the Rockets pick too because of and they went back to the bigger lineup last night.
Yes, they
and
did.
to me, it feels like sometimes even just an intimidation factor. You know, like everybody on this court is basically 6'10" you're about to go against. It's just like this is the grit and grind, punch you in the mouth. They have a really good identity, and it's part of the reason why, like, even sometimes when they struggle, like, they could just hang in there with their defense.
I mean, and also they're number 1 offense, and that's partly because they constantly get all their damn offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to just mentally just overwhelm your opponent, because, like, when you play defense for 20-plus seconds, and then you got to do it again for another 14, and then you got to do it again for, like, that just wears down your opponent, too. So that also is like a form of defense as well.
And let's be honest, majority of the teams don't want to play defense.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I feel like you just got to throw OKC in that mix just because
yeah.
they fit like the same criteria, and they're going to turn you over.
Yeah.
I mean, again, they can win games where they're only hitting less than 5 threes on a night because they have so many easy buckets off transition. They have Shea to close it out. And they just do so many things well that even when with the lack of three-point shooting, they can still make up for it.
Yeah, I had them as, in my notes, aggressive turnover winning team, where they don't turn the ball over themselves and they're going to turn you over at the highest level. And it's like, how do you win a basketball game if you're already down 12 turnovers to 1? You're like, it's almost impossible. And OKC's been able to do that.
I just
for
like
2
they're
years straight.
suffocating.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like as an opposing team, when you're playing against them, you kind of can't breathe. Like, it's like, like your breath just got taken away from you. Like, you always have an all-NBA level defender on you at all times.
Nobody wants to play OKC.
No.
Nobody wants to play OKC.
When Steph Curry comes out and says who doesn't have a bad game against OKC, who is one of the best point guards of all time, there's no way you can say that that's not
He
true.
had a bad game there, then dropped
40,
back-to-back 40-point games against one of the best defenses in the league. So they get it done.
Can I ask you a very personal question? How many pockets is on them pants?
How many times have you used?
He said, I can't count them.
I never thought about it.
that's 1, 2,
You take your phone out of your knee
I
pants,
think it's-
out of your knee pocket.
So I got 1, 2. So there's 3 here, then there's 2 up here, then 2 in the back.
So you got 8.
Yeah.
No, that's more than 8. He said there's 3 there, then
1,
that would be
2,
10.
3,
He's
4,
got 10
5,
pockets.
6. I'm guessing it's 1. Yep, 7. And
Oh
then
my God.
8, 9.
Wait, no,
and
there's
10,
one on the
11.
side
You
right
can
there.
never have enough
I counted
pockets,
that
I
already.
guess.
Oh, he didn't count that one.
I didn't know
so
that
it
was
might be
there.
12.
Yeah, it's like 11 or 12 from what I
Bro, you
remember.
wear them through TSA, boy, you are getting a pat down. They taking you to the back. I've never seen a pair of pants with so many pockets.
I actually
With
never
nothing
even
in
thought
them.
about counting them.
You should use them all.
You know, that is true. I should. This is one of them pants where you can randomly find money in them.
Why?
Not what you wear.
Because you're going to
Yeah, I
put
was
money
gonna say, you
down
gotta-
here.
you
I did that. I did that once on a pair of pants.
You just got so many pair of pants with 10 plus pockets.
I want to take it to the other side and ask y'all, what teams are still needing that identity and lacking it?
I think that it's easy to pinpoint teams that we've seen have identities before that lost it. Like a team like the Clippers, who we've mentioned a lot this season, where last year their defense was hard-nosed, top 3 defense, and now it's trending upward over the last week and a half or so, but it's still in the bottom 5 of the NBA. And we know what they are on the offensive side, like Harden, get us to the finish line, but the defense was the thing that got you over the finish line, and now they don't have that. And then the other team I had is the Cavs. This team was free-flowing. It was one of the most fun offenses of all time. It was actually number 2 of all time if you think about all of that. And now without Darius Garland being there with the toe injury, it's a lot of like Donovan Mitchell, please win us this game. And he's been able to do it in most cases, but it's not pretty.
They mentioned on the broadcast, too, how he said that he's kind of has to get everybody else involved first, you know, and serve their plates up. But as of late, it's really been Donovan Mitchell. You got to go get us there first. You know, you can't have the other way around where you're trying to get everybody around. We can't be down by double digits already before you really get to get going. So
Yeah, we even saw them last night struggle with the Rockets being able to keep them off the offensive boards, and they also were playing a double big lineup as well.
No,
so
they
it's like,
rocking 4 bigs, basically. They was out them.
I guess we are seeing the death of the small ball,
Yeah.
just with them 2 teams.
But be sure to tune in to that on
Finally.
Mondays, please.
The Orlando Magic is also a team that I kind of could feel like I don't really. Last year was being the top 2 defense. This year it hasn't really translated that well, and offensively they don't. I don't really think they have an offensive identity either.
It's one of those teams that's trending upward.
Yeah,
They've been able to close out few of the games. I feel like they're starting to feel like the defensive-oriented team again. I don't know if they end up top 2,
Yeah.
but like I think they're going to be able to put their hat there at the end of the season and say, hey, we finished with the number 7 defense. And it's just about the jump shoot and steal, which has been the question about the Orlando Magic for like 20 years, it feels like. Can they hit jump shots? Can they hit jump shots?
nope, they barely take them. That's what it feels like.
Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know who the Memphis Grizzlies are in 2025.
Shout out to the Spencer brothers, though.
For real, though.
They
Cam
both
and
put in
Pat.
big minutes, and career night for Pat yesterday with like 13 assists out of nowhere. And then Cam Spencer also has like a high assist to turnover ratio and everything. They just good passes. They played the game the right way.
They played it in the right way.
Exactly. That's why they're on the floor.